Shut up and sit down.
Hey, and welcome to the Freja MMA podcast, where it doesn't matter if you're a casual fan or a championship fighter. Join us in our discussion about the beautiful sport, which is mixed martial arts. Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Freja MMA podcast. Today we're speaking to Jack Grant, who is fighting for the Cage Warriors lightweight title this weekend at Cage Warriors 119. We spoke a bit about the fight, a bit about the corona situation, and a bit about him as a gym owner, and how his business is doing during this coronavirus. Everyone, make sure to click the links in the description to order this on pay-per-view. Well, it won't be on pay-per-view, it'll be on UFC Fight Pass. So if you don't have UFC Fight Pass, check it out wherever it can be found. Cage Warriors 119 this Saturday. And here is our interview with Skinny Power Jack Grant. I'm here with Jack Skinny Power Grant. How are you doing, man?
I'm good, thank you. Yourself?
I'm doing very well. So you're 1 week away from the big trilogy now. You'll be fighting on the Saturday show of Cage Warriors. But let's start at the beginning. How did your MMA journey begin?
My MMA journey began. It actually started out as like a boxing journey. I got into boxing when I was. I think I started when I was 11, and then. No, in fact, I started when I was 10. I had my first fight when I was 11. And, and it just went on from there. And I just knew that this was what I wanted to do straight away, even from a very young age.
So you was a young scrapper in your town, or how did you start with that anyway?
Yeah, I was always fighting. I was a proper little lad. And I was a little bit naughty, and the next thing you know, I got sent to a boxing school for discipline, and it did just that for me. So it really controlled me and sorted me out as a youngster.
Do you think that should be something that should be implemented in the teenagers and the children of today? Like you said, you did learn discipline from it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think martial arts is good for everybody. Even if it's just like from a defense point of view for kids that maybe get picked on, or kids that are maybe a little bit the opposite and do the picking on. I think it's good for all kids. I think it'll give them balance, confidence, and it'll sort them out, because if you're not disciplined and you're at the right gym, you won't be allowed to get away with doing bad things on the outside.
So, as I said in the small intro there, you are fighting at Cage Warriors 119 against, is it Agy Sardari? I'm not really sure if the name's correct. There we go. For the lightweight title, which is vacant at the moment. How do you feel about, first of all, your opponent, and then also fighting in these empty arena shows because of Corona?
Yeah, so I'm more than happy to be fighting Agy. All I asked for was a good opponent. I was kind of a little bit fed up of being the guy to introduce guys to Cage Warriors. Like, I seem to get a lot of unknown guys that are, like, in my opinion, dangerous, but also I don't really have too much to gain from them. So I just said to my manager, asking Dean for someone who's a tough opponent, and they've come up with this guy. So I'm more than happy. I think some other people deserved it more. I'd have personally liked to fight a few other guys, that I think are tough fights on Cage Warriors, but it is what it is, and I'm happy. As long as I've got that belt in front of me, I'm ready to fight.
So you don't mind facing a debutant in Cage Warriors as long as the belt is on the line there?
Exactly, yeah.
So with him having his Cage Warriors debut, is there a lot of footage that you guys can pull apart and make a game plan from with him?
Well, to be honest with you, I'm not really one for watching my opponents too much. However, I have watched a bit of this guy. There was some footage that I don't know if it got taken down or what, but I can't find it anymore. But I only watch a very short amount of each fight. I just watch how they enter the fight. Other than that, the only thing I care about is what I like to do. So, once I've got a rough idea of how they enter fights, I'm more than happy to just concentrate on my skill set.
So is that more of a mental warfare there? You're saying about how they enter the fight?
Yeah, so obviously if someone was to come out, in a very wild fashion, very crazy, I'd probably look to slow them down, get hold of them, slow them down, because it's so unpredictable early doors. So it's just good to understand how people enter fights.
So this will be your second crack at the lightweight title, is that correct?
Yeah.
So then the first fight was against Jay Herbert, who is now signed into the UFC. From my knowledge, he still is signed for the UFC, shall I say.
Yeah.
How did you feel about that fight, and what did you take away from that?
Yeah, I feel like I learned a lot from the fight. I feel like it wasn't really the best performance by me, but I feel like it was a great performance by Jai. I feel like I have a lot more to offer than what I got to show. But that's the fight game. Sometimes, you just need to step back, reevaluate it, and go again. And that's exactly the opportunity I've got now. Jai's a fantastic fighter, and I wish him all the best. But yeah, I just want to show people my true potential, and I believe I will do this time round.
So with everything going to plan next Saturday, what would be your step forward from that? Would it be a defense in Cage Warriors, or are you looking towards that UFC call-up?
To be honest with you, the only thing I put any thought into is just winning this fight, the task at hand. It's the only thing that matters is this fight. Once it's all done, then I'll start looking and thinking about other things. But currently, just tunnel vision. I've lived in the gym. I've put the dedication in, the sacrifice, and I'm just ready for this guy. One step at a time, and the hardest test is always just the one in front of you. So I'm ready for this guy.
So obviously with the situation that we're in at the moment and this year, the coronavirus seems to be a bit of a subject that we just can't get away from on this podcast. You being both an athlete and a gym owner, how has it affected you in the run up to this fight and this year in a whole?
Yeah, COVID's been it's been bullshit, it's been a little bit of a nightmare, but we're all in the same boat. And I'm just grateful that I've got the opportunity to continue with my career and keep fighting. It's not holding me back currently, so I'm more than happy as long as I get to compete in what I love to do, which is fight. I'm happy. As for me, gym, it has had a little bit of an impact, but nothing we won't get over. As a team, we'll get over this, and before you know it, hopefully we'll be on the other side of COVID and things will start to get up and running properly, and we can continue our good momentum.
And how do you feel about these empty arena shows at the moment? Because you do seem like, from your fighting style, you do seem like someone that does feed off of the crowd quite a bit.
Yeah, absolutely. I really do feed off the crowd. Until I actually experienced my first time fighting with no crowd, I realised how much I personally feed off of it. But again, like, I'm in this for the experiences, and whether I had to fight this guy like in my garden for the title, I would. So it makes no difference to me, really. As soon as the bell rings, that's it. I'm looking to finish him.
So, well, I guess with them sending it on UFC Fight Pass as well, that there will be a lot of people watching. So I don't think you quite have to call him out in your garden just yet.
Yeah, absolutely. The eyes are on the show, So luckily we've got a great platform, and I'm ready to go.
So talking about the fight, what is your prediction of how you will be the victor in this fight?
To be honest with you, I've trained to just win every single round. That's what I've trained for. But if you've watched any of my fights and you're a fan of me, usually when I win, it's by a finish. So I predict a finish. I honestly believe I can finish him in the first or second round. And I just need to keep it smart, listen to my coach. And as long as I do that, my hands will be getting raised.
So who will be in your corner on the event?
John Gillis, my brother Mason Cooper, and Eric De Silva. So I've got a real strong team behind me from four corners, and I'm ready. I just want to get it done now. Like I'm, entering fight week, and I really want to go now.
So we spoke a bit about your fighting style. As I said, if anyone that hasn't seen you, they should be tuning in to Cage Warriors for this fight, most definitely. Where do you see your MMA journey taking you? What would be your legacy in this game?
Well, I want to win as many world titles as possible, and I just think if you're a fighter and you're in this game, your dream should be to have that UFC belt. And the sky is the limit. And I wouldn't even bother doing this if I didn't have the biggest of goals. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, I want to win this title. I want to go to the UFC. I want to just continue to improve on and off the mats, in and out of the gym. So, like, as an athlete, as a person, and I just want to achieve as much as possible. So we'll see.
So, do you think that if this UFC call-up does come, would Jay Herbert be in your line of sight there because you wanted to get that one back?
To be honest with you, anyone. Like, if I got to the UFC, I'm not going to start tiptoeing around. Like, UFC say fight him, that's who I'll fight. It's just the way I am. That's in my nature. And, of course, like, part of me always wants to rerun things like that. So I'd be more than willing to do so. But at the end of the day, we're two UK guys, and I want to fight all these like Americans, Brazilians, wherever they're from, just other countries. It's such a big stage.
Well, we'll hope for the Corona thing to just be over, so that maybe we can have a bit of an English derby in England. I mean, the UFC should be coming back there at some point.
Oh yeah, that'd be amazing. I'd love to fight on like a UFC London one day. I have no doubt I will. I have absolutely no doubt that I will get to where I want to be. But yeah, for now, just task at hand. Cage Warriors World Champion. End 2020 on a high. Celebrate Christmas. Enjoy my family, and that's what I want to do. That's the end of my year planned, and then going into next year, we'll make bigger plans.
I spoke a bit about with our previous on our previous podcast with our previous guest about like the differences between winter and summer to a fighter. So going into a fight in the winter and going into a fight in the summer, is there any difference with? Obviously, you got Christmas coming up and things like that, but is there anything different with cutting weight or the diet plan because of the seasonal months?
The cold. It's a little bit harder to get that sweat on. Your injuries hurt a little bit more in the winter. If I'm honest, it's everything's just that little bit harder. I'd rather be training abroad if I could. But we make do, and I'm happy to do this. So yeah, I don't mind being in a cold gym as long as I'm learning.
Yeah, definitely. Well, it was better to be there than over here. I think we might be a little bit colder over here on the Swedish side. So we'll talk a bit about your gym, Grant Combat Academy. Is that correct?
Yeah, Grant Combat Academy. So I'm a little jiu-jitsu gym based in Grimsby. Obviously, again, with everything, I do have big goals for this too. I want to grow this into something really good for the local community. And, I'll look to tap into the local MMA scene and take over, in my opinion. I'm the most experienced in jiu-jitsu, wrestling, and striking. Like, I've been everywhere, So, and I'm nowhere near done. I'm not a finished product, so my coaching skills will only become better. And one day I'd love my gym to be on big stages.
So, with being a gym owner and representing your side of the country, what would be some fighters that we could see in the future coming from your gym?
I'd love to see MMA fighters come out of my gym. Currently, I am very jiu-jitsu based in my gym, keeping it nice and small, just building it up. And I'm very passionate about jiu-jitsu, but long term, I want to branch into everything. I'd love to have a gym in the future with dorms and everything. I'd want UFC fighters. That would be my ultimate goal.
So anyone that's going over from outside of the world, Scandinavia, going to the UK, have to check out Grant Combat Academy in Grimsby.
Yeah,
that should definitely be on the list.
That'd be awesome.
So we usually give this time to our guests to thank any family members, sponsors, trainers, friends, family, anything like that. So it will be your time now.
Yeah, so I'd just like to thank my management. They're always sorting me out, helping me out. Carl Messon's phenomenal. And my team, Four Corners, John Gillis, my head coach, and all my training partners, because without those guys, you're nothing. You need your training partners, you need your friends. And of course, massive shout out to my actual friends and family and support. Because, it means a lot. And I'm ready to go, and I'm ready to bring this belt back to Grimsby.
There you go, everyone. Saturday, the 12th of December, Cage Warriors 119. All the links and everything will be in the description wherever you're watching this. And Jack, thank you for your time.
Thank you. I appreciate your time also. Thank you.
Thank you.